My name is Berin Stevens, and today what I want to talk about is putting the clarinet back away. Put that one down. And so yeah, in my previous video I talked about how to get the clarinet out and assemble it. So now this time I need to talk about putting it back in the case and cleaning it up and all that, so that it will hopefully be in good shape next time we need to use it. So let's switch back over to our fairly typical student line clarinet. And so we can just pretend I just did a big long practice session with it and all that. So everything is all put together here. And so yeah, one of the first things we want to do is get this reed off. And again, hopefully these ligature screws aren't super tight, so they come off fairly easily. Slide that up there, and then we should have, oh, there it is, a good quality reed case. Now I like these hard plastic ones that hold the tip of the reed flat when you put it in there. And this is a soprano sax reed, by the way, so don't worry about that. But yeah, we want something that's going to hold the reed flat. And of course, there's a lot of people use these things. Do I have any left? Like there's this is one of the ones for one of the brands of reeds, and it looks like it's a pretty good way to store the reeds, but it's a very soft, flexible plastic. So if the reed decides it's going to warp, this is not going to do anything to stop it. And then there's the other brand that's fairly common, which, oh, there's one. So these things here, also very soft, flexible plastic, and they also have little things in there that are really easy to crunch the tip of the reed on. Now these things are great for shipping, but they are not good for regular storage of the reed. So you definitely want to get one of these things. It'll save you money. For one thing, it'll keep the reed in better playing shape. But it will protect it better and help it to dry flatter. Now something else I do, oh there it is, I like to, if I don't have like a reed humidifier box, like is what I normally use, and I'll maybe talk about that at some point, but I like to slide my reed case into a plastic bag, and then fold it over. If it has a Ziploc type thing, do not zip it closed, because what that will do is give you a nice little science experiment with all sorts of green fuzz growing all over your reeds, and trust me, you do not want that to happen. So wrapping that up in plastic and putting that in the case, and that allows the reed to dry more evenly and slowly. So we can put that in there like that. I will say for bigger reeds, like if you have bass clarinet reeds or tenor or baritone sax reeds, that will help, but unfortunately, those are dealing with a lot more wood, so they have a tendency to cause more problems. Now, there are several different swabs out there. A lot of times the swabs that come with the clarinet case, they're actually okay. They're not too bad. They do a pretty good job of getting moisture out of there, but some of them don't absorb moisture very well. So you need to watch out for that, so especially with some of the cheap ones. And you want to get the moisture out of the body of the instrument. So you need a swab that's going to do that for you. So yeah, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ligature off, because I don't like to grab these together, because again it can cause, especially these metal ligatures can dig in and do damage to the mouthpiece. So I like to take that off and then take this off there. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the ligature back into place and the mouthpiece cap. Now, a lot of people don't do much or worry about the mouthpiece cap, but this helps protect the mouthpiece, especially the tip of it when it's in the case. And so usually there's a slot where that can go, and so you definitely want to put it in that slot. Now as far as cleaning out the clarinet, I haven't tested out this swab, so hopefully it's a good one. But yeah, this is a silk type swab, so I do prefer these because they do absorb the moisture very well. You don't have to get pink, but if you like pink, that's an option. That would not be the color I would choose, but anyway. So then there's usually a weight of some kind. I'm not sure what is here. But hopefully it's still going to be enough to get it through. So I'm taking it through the bell of the instrument and putting it through that way. And then, yeah, so here on the other end, the string has come through. And so now I can pull this through and it will clean out the instrument. Now a lot of times, sometimes there might be a little bit of a knot or ball or something in the swab, and it might get stuck. And I've learned the hard way to not force it. If it starts to get stuck, stop, and you can probably then take it apart here in the middle, the clarinet. And just like in assembling it, I like, even when I'm taking it apart, I like to push on this key here. So, oh, there it is. push on that one, so it's lifting up the bridge key there, and then as I slide it apart, then hopefully nothing's been damaged. But yeah, so I might sometimes have to split that apart and then work the swab out, you know, just pull it back down this way. And then, well, I'll curl that up later. And then as far as putting things in here, there's usually a specific spot for the barrel. I don't know if it really matters what order you take it apart at this point. And sometimes the hard part is figuring out which section is which, and that's not the right one. There it is. And so there is, you know, there are these two different spots for the upper and lower section. There is a right spot for each one. Don't just kind of guess and shove it in there, because you don't want to be, you know, having any extra pressure put on these keys. And then, yeah, then sometimes you have to twist it a little bit to pull it apart, but it shouldn't be hard to do. And then yeah, that should go in its spot. Now, one of the things you don't want to do is put your music books or papers or anything like that here on top of the clarinet, because that can end up putting extra pressure on keys and rods, and that can cause things to get bent. We don't want that. You know, there's some older style cases that have a compartment up there where you can open it up and put books there. That's fine. You just don't want to be putting things in the same compartment with the instrument. So anyway, hopefully that's the information you need, and I want to close it up, make sure those things are shut before you pick it up. I wish I could say it never happened to me, but sometimes we forget to do that. We pick up the case, and the next thing you know, it's spread out all over the floor. So anyway, if you have any other questions, you can email me. My name is Berin, B-E-R-I-N, at saxmyax, saxmyax.com, and my website is saxmyax.com. And feel free to ask any questions, and thanks for listening.